Welcome to Onslow County Today. I'm your host, Lisa Whitman-Grice, and we are excited to welcome you to our 24th season of Onslow County Today. This is our July 2024 edition, and we have some wonderful guests for you. We are here today at the Onslow County Senior Center, and we're going to talk with Denise Leva about the Senior Center's fan distribution program. We'll also visit with Anita Atkins from the Department of Social Services. We'll also talk with our friends from the Onslow County Animal Services Department. We'll chat with Danny Cook about Hot Diggity Dog. We'll also chat with some folks from the Onslow County Health Department, Dominique Van Pelt, who's going to offer us some terrific, healthy, safe tips for water safety and summer heat safety. Finally, we'll chat with Jennifer Randall from the Onslow County Public Library about their author events. And last but not least, Emily Morrison with Onslow County Cooperative Extension and their Master Gardener program. We're kicking off our 24th year here at Onslow County Today. We're glad you're here. Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Denise Leva with Onslow County Senior Services. Denise, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we were just chatting off camera about how that as we've gotten older, dealing with the heat.
Yes.
You know, if you're a little kid, sometimes you don't even notice it. You're just out there, you're just running around and going to town. But it is always, we don't get a break from the heat here in the summertime.
No, not at all.
It's already begun in full force, and you all here at Senior Services have some important tips for us, for our older community members, how to stay cool and comfortable. But you also have a very special program that you all have every year. And the first thing we want to talk about is your fan relief program. Tell us a little bit about what it is. We'll talk about who's eligible and how someone might apply to receive one.
Okay. We do offer the fan program here at Senior Services, and what that is that all you have to do is be a resident of Onslow County, be 60 years or older, or if you have a disability, you can come in as well, or if you have a life-threatening illness or something at home that you need to have a fan or be cool, you can come on in to our new location at 4955 Richlands Highway.
Very good.
And all you have to do is just show your driver's license. It's one fan per household.
All right.
And you can come in anytime between Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and pick up a fan.
Well, you know, it might not seem like that much, but this really makes a huge difference, can make a huge difference. If you are, you know, have to be at home, the heat can be oppressive.
Yes.
Perhaps, you know, you want to be really mindful about air conditioning and how much you operate that from a utility bill standpoint. So this really has a lot of advantages for families.
Absolutely. It really does.
And you say, just show up. I don't need to call you in advance.
Nope. All you have to do is come on in. We have plenty of fans here. We're looking forward to help all of our seniors in the county. If you need one, all you have to do is just bring your driver's license.
Just bring your driver's license.
That's it.
Resident of Onslow County, 60 or older, or if we have a disability where we might need this, a health concern.
Yes.
And this really does, it generates just that necessary when it can be 90 or 100 outside.
Absolutely. We're here to help them.
Which is not unusual here, right?
Not
90 or 100.
Not this time of the year or anything. We ask for all of our seniors to stay hydrated too. Make sure you drink plenty of fluids and help you get you through the summer.
Right, so that's the other thing we want to be mindful of. A lot of our seniors so very active, as we're here today at the center, and we're seeing just how active folks are, which is great to see. You know, if you're like my grandmother, you want to still be out in your flower bed, right?
That's
you still want to be in your garden. So you all also have some important safety tips for keeping us cool and comfortable and mindful about that heat.
Yes, you always also want to remember to always check on your neighbors. You always want to have that extra person there that's going to check up on you and make sure that you're doing okay and everything. That's very important for our seniors, to have that one special neighbor, family, or friend that will check up on you. Okay. And do make sure that you do drink plenty of fluids during the hot time, and try and stay cool as much as possible.
Okay, so remembering when to be out during the day. If you do want to be out in that garden, let's try early in the morning when it's still cool, or later in the afternoon. Don't be out in the heat of the day, as we say.
That's right.
Cooling, you know, especially water. We want to stay away from things like sodas or caffeinated beverages too much, right?
You want to have plenty of fluids, plenty of water in them to hydrate.
Okay, and like you said, keep an eye on those neighbors.
Yes, that's very important. You need that to check on your seniors, to make sure that they're well during this time of the year, that they are being hydrated, they are being cool. And if they need anything, it's good just to check on them to make sure we're here for them.
And then you've got this awesome senior center.
Yes, we do. That has AC.
All right.
So it's good. You can come in and enjoy it with the seniors and do different activities and have a good time and cool off and just have fun.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Companionship, cool of the day. You have meals here, the meal program that you all provide, the nutrition program.
Yes.
Our senior center is, well, temporarily located in a new site for a short time.
For a short time.
It's just as terrific. I mean, it's beautiful, and we hear folks laughing behind us that they're having a great time.
Yes, we offer lots of programs here. You can come in here and do bingo on Fridays with us, which they love. They love doing trivia games. We get out there and we play games. They have crocheting, knitting, wood carvers. There's all sorts of different things, activities to do. Also, a free lunch that you could offer for our seniors that are 60 years and older. They can come on in and have a meal.
It's just one of my favorite places to just visit and see what y'all are doing. And I picked up on my way as you and I were talking off camera, while it is the heat of the summer, you all have begun advertising your trip you have coming up in December. I'm really excited about this one.
Going to Dollywood.
At Christmas time.
At Christmas time, the first week in December. So if anybody wants to join us, sign-ups are coming up in about 2 weeks.
All right.
You can come on in and sign up and get all the information, put your deposit down. It's going to be a fun trip. The seniors love going on trips.
I've never heard of you all not having a fun trip.
They have a great time.
And now you're going to go see Dollywood.
That's right.
Christmas time in the mountains. I'm going to find my checkbook. This really,
it's going to be good. The weather's going to be great too.
Perfect. Well, Denise, thank you. Thank you for sharing again one more time. Let's give the address of your current location just so folks can find you.
It's 4955 Richlands Highway.
All right. So just before the turnoff for the airport, if folks want to sort of familiarize themselves, you all are on the left as if they were heading west toward Richlands or toward the airport.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes.
Well, it is great having you visit with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I want to remind folks, great social media presence that you all have, website, and come in and check out everything you're doing.
Yes, please do. We look forward to seeing everybody.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Anita Atkins with the Onslow County Department of Social Services. Anita, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So as we were off camera just before we came on, one of the things, of course, the conversation centered around was the heat.
Right.
And how we have already been experiencing such high heat. And you all have a very important program that's not just about alleviating, warm temperatures for people in their homes. It's really about safety and well-being. Let's talk a little bit about your energy assistance program. We want to talk about who is eligible, how they apply, and what type of assistance is also eligible for help. So first and foremost, tell us what is the energy assistance program, because you all have a number of different type of programs that aid our community.
We do. Currently, what we have is our Crisis Intervention Program.
Okay.
The Crisis Intervention Program is an income and need-based program.
Okay.
So not only do you have to meet specific income limits, but your services have to have either been disconnected or you are past due, or maybe you're in need of an urgent repair or replacement of your equipment.
All right. And so, I mean, it's all in the title. This is crisis. This is not, oh, I'm applying for assistance. This is, I am in dire need. This is a moment in time where I'm going to reach out and you're going to kind of peruse all of that and glean the appropriate information.
Yes, that's correct. So it is not meant to be an ongoing benefit. It is meant to just alleviate a crisis. What it does is it can provide assistance of up to $600 in a year, and the year runs from July 1st to June 30th.
All right. So if I am in that moment, either my service has been disconnected, and as you mentioned, equipment may need a repair. This is specifically, when you say equipment within my home, are you talking about air conditioning units, heat pumps? What are we talking about?
Any equipment that is used to provide heating or cooling can actually be replaced or repaired using this program, as long as it is within that $600 limit.
All right, very good. Now, I find myself in that situation. I reach out to you. You said it was income-based as well as what the circumstances are.
Correct.
As well. What does that process look like? Because oftentimes it's just taking that first step. How do I ask for this? How do I apply for this assistance?
It is, and often many of the applications we receive are first-time applicants, and the easiest way to apply can be online at epass.nc.gov, in person at the Onslow Department of Social Services building, or even by phone. So you can actually contact our agency at 910-455-4145 and request to apply by phone.
Okay. Now, the application process, anticipate, because I'm trying to anticipate what the questions might be. How long, Ms. Anita, do you think this would take? How long is the process?
So the Crisis Intervention Program actually requires for us to process the application, whether for approval or denial, within 2 business days.
Okay, all right. That's exactly, you know, as we think about what our community member might have, that question. Do you have to in any way, once that's approved, then require any kind of follow-up to show proof of repair or proof of purchase for equipment?
No, you do not. We actually take care of making the payments directly to the vendors.
Okay, all right. So there's no administrative dollars going directly to the community member, but rather the vendor who's doing the work.
Correct, whether it is your electricity provider or a repair company.
Okay, so public utilities. So when I apply, in terms of application process, if it is for a utility bill, for the power bill, if you will, bring those bills, bring those statements. What is it that you're looking for?
It is always good practice to bring your most current electricity bill with you. Also, any proof of income that you have received in the past 30 days for everyone that lives in your household.
Okay.
Though once we review an application, we can always provide a detailed list of any items that we may need, and we will assist you in obtaining those items to ensure we get that application processed in that 2 business day time frame. Okay,
so we begin, circumstances is my power's been turned off, or there's threat of that, I'm behind, I bring that information to you, I apply through the process. In about 2 days, we'll have that information. If approved, that is paid directly to the utility company.
Yes, that's correct. And we also notify you as the citizen in that same time frame whether or not you've been approved or denied, so that if you need, you can seek help from other sources.
All right, very good. So let's talk a little bit about the repair or replacement of equipment. $600 again is the cap on that.
Correct.
And determine, you know, I've had a repair person come in, or it's just not operating. Does the county, do you all find the vendor, find the repair person, or is it someone that may have already been visited the site?
We do have a list of approved vendors that are willing to accept payments for us for those repair or replacement.
Okay.
However, you're not limited to that list.
All right.
So if you are able to find another vendor that is willing to become a vendor with the county, then we can work with them as well.
Very good. All right. So assistance with utility bills, either service that has been cut off or service that cutoff is pending. Assistance with that utility bill directly to the power company utility provider, and then the replacement or repair of existing equipment.
Correct.
All right. Is there anything in particular? We've already talked about it's income-based and also sort of within that threshold. Anything else that you would advise someone who might need to apply about the process that you want them to be comfortable with?
So one thing with this program is that it does require an interview. So we can complete the interview by phone or in person. So it is very important to ensure that you are able to maintain that contact with the agency because we do just have that 2 business day turnaround.
All right.
Also, one added area is that we can even help with deposits for new accounts.
Very good. So if you're just getting established, and for new renters, for new folks sort of out on their own for the first time, who've never gone through that process, that just getting that baseline, just getting started.
Correct.
And again, that's a really crucial step in establishing permanency in a home.
Correct.
Right?
And many of our landlords in this area require that utility to be established before actually moving into their new place. So we can help take care of that as well.
Fantastic. So Anita, again, we mentioned they can call, they can go online to the ePass site, or they can come in. When they're coming into CHS, recommend an appointment. Someone is there and ready and waiting for them?
So we actually do not set appointments for applications. However, we can take applications any hours that the agency is open.
All right.
We have individuals available every day as long as the agency is open.
Very good. Okay. Last thing we want to do is you've given us the site that we can go to, given us our telephone number. For folks who may not be familiar with CHS, they may know it as, oh, that's where the health department was, or, still orienting them. Tell us the address there at CHS and how to best find it.
So the address for the building is 612 College Street in Jacksonville. The College Street entrance is no longer open, so you do need to drive around the building to the parking lot side and come in the marked entrance in order to go through security before being routed to the desk to sign in.
Very good. And to remember proof of income, as well as always good practice to have those utility bills or perhaps any kind of estimate that you may have received.
That's correct. Anything that you can have available beforehand will speed up the process, though we will help you get what is needed to complete it.
And Anita, the last thing, when we talk about providing this assistance, again, it's beyond the financial. This is really about the safety and well-being of that household.
That's correct. The program is called Crisis Intervention for a reason. We are trying to prevent a crisis.
Very good. Well, Anita, thank you.
Thank you
for your time and for what you always do for our community members.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today. Joining us now is Danny Cook. Welcome back, Danny.
Thanks for having me.
So the emails were going back and forth, and we were scheduling your visit, and the title of the program that got sent to me was Hot Diggity Dog.
Hot Diggity Dog.
What is Hot Diggity Dog? Because we've all been talking about it.
So this is an event that they did before my time, so a few years back or whatever, where they had families come out, meet our animals and stuff like that. It's a regular adoption event, so the animals will be available for adoption. The only thing fun about it is we're going to be offering some hot dogs and soda and chips. And then we also have animal control officers on hand to take pictures with the kids and with your dogs if you decide to bring your dogs.
Okay.
I know not a lot of people see our ACO officers, and if they do, it's usually not a real happy, pleasant thing. So I'm just trying to put it out there. They're big teddy bears, like
awesome.
That way everyone
really
can
are.
kind of
Look
meet
like
them.
big teddy bears.
That way everyone can come meet them and take pictures with them and come see what we have and maybe bring your best friend, find another best friend, wink, wink.
Awesome. So Animal Services bringing back Hot Diggity Dog for a summertime adoption event.
Yes.
We need to know the specifics. We want to know
it's
the
gonna
day,
be
date.
July the 12th, which is a Friday.
Okay.
And it's going to be from our normal business hours, so between 12 and 5 o'clock, our
Okay.
adoption hours.
So on Friday, July the 12th,
Correct.
we're going to go to the Animal Services
Yes.
offices site there.
Yes.
People may not be familiar where that is in that Georgetown Broadhurst area. Give us a little bit of description.
So if you guys know where the Onwassa building is, we are directly next door. So you hit that playground, you go down the long driveway, we're down there tucked in the corner.
All right, so just off of Highway 17 South, like you're going to the central office for Onslow County Schools, Onwassa,
Correct.
and then you guys are kind of right behind them.
Right next to the elections building.
All right, but great signage, so we
Yes.
can see right where you are.
Yes.
1 to 5 that
Yes.
day, or 12
12
to
to
5.
5.
12 to 5. It's an adoption event. And again, some little special treats.
Yeah.
So some hot dogs and some, chips and things.
Yeah.
And then this special opportunity, because we know, right, your animal control officers.
They're busy people.
They're busy. They have to do hard things sometimes. But the reason they do hard things is to keep us all, including our furry family members, safe.
Correct.
So this is an opportunity for us to also sort of say, hey, how are you? And no, it's a stressful
Thank you for
job.
what you're doing.
Thank you for what you're doing. Absolutely. We've got to talk about adoptions in general, because you all are doing such phenomenal things for our community. Talk a little bit about the new family connections you've been making.
So that's always a fun thing to watch. With the dogs, it's always interesting. We let people interact with a few dogs during their visit. And it's just an awesome thing to watch it when it clicks that that's your intended best friend.
I follow your social media, and sometimes you'll say, oh, this is, and, I think you had some siblings not long ago that needed adopting. And the next thing you know, there's your posting again.
Yeah.
And here's their new family member.
I actually have a bonded set of senior dogs right now that are available for adoption. They are bonded, so yes, they would need to go together.
Come together, right.
But we were able to apply a sponsorship through some generous donors. So it's basically a buy one, get one. So both pets are available. They are the sweetest things on the face of the planet.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
just a little older, not your puppies. But they are available, and their adoption fee is $140. So if anybody wants to come see them, come meet them.
And that's the thing too, is when we think about making that right connection, sometimes a senior dog, or senior dogs in this case, are just right for that household that's not geared for puppy life, because puppy life is a baby life.
A bunch of toddlers.
Yeah.
Bunch of 3-year-olds running around.
And training and
Lots
household
of energy. Yes.
and so sometimes this is a better fit for someone.
You want couch potatoes that'll just be there to snuggle with? There you're set.
There you go. Now we cannot also forget to talk about, here we are, height of summer, lots of big celebrations going on. We've got, as we start the month, we're going to kick off with a bang, literally, with 4th of July and fireworks, and then all summer long, kids in and out of the house, family coming to visit, strangers in your house sometimes for cookouts. You've got some great tips and reminders for us to keep everybody safe.
Yes. So first and foremost, microchip your pets, please. Talk to your vets, get them microchipped. That is one of the best ways to identify your pet. Microchip is just implanted between the shoulder blades. We scan, your number pops up. We call you like, hey, we got your kid, come get them. It helps us reunite families a lot quicker.
Right.
But it also establishes true ownership of the dog.
Sure,
that way
absolutely.
somebody can't just look at our site and be like, hey, that's a pretty dog, it's mine.
Right.
No,
absolutely.
not so much.
No, you've got that. You've got that digital record.
Yes. So microchip your pet is the very first thing.
All right.
Secondly, If you know that your cats or dogs need a little help to stay calm during the fireworks and thunderstorms and that type of thing, get your medications now, please. Don't wait till the day before. Your vets would appreciate it if you get it ahead of time, because they're often quite busy, even though it is a holiday. So get your meds in advance if you need it. I know a lot of the PetSmarts and other pet stores in the area sell Thunder shirts, which is an anti-anxiety shirt. So that's definitely something to recommend as well. Also, with it being so hot, if you can't comfortably put your hand on the pavement or on the sand and leave it there for a few minutes, don't take your dogs out on it.
Those pads are
sensitive. They are not as tough as people think. They do get blistered and they do get burned.
So being mindful of the heat.
Yes.
When we're going out for walks.
Yes.
I mean,
so
if you're
very early in the morning or very, very late at night.
Okay. And being outside too, we want big bowls of water.
Big bowls of water, tons of shade, cooling blankets if you can, ice buckets. My dogs enjoy popsicle. I take a bowl and I throw pet-friendly foods in there and I freeze it overnight, and they will stay outside and they'll kind of lick on that and eat on that throughout.
And it's also a little bit entertaining for them as well. All right, so always being mindful of that noise. And then, you know, the other thing is our kids are running in and out of the house or running in and out, you know, of the yard, playing. We want to be mindful of latch doors and latch gates.
Yes. Also, food. Please do not feed your pets all the barbecue stuff.
Right?
It might be tempting, but chicken bones are dangerous for them. A lot of other foods out there are not proper for them. They could cause upset stomachs and whatnot.
Lots of tummy trouble.
Please, please, please don't feed them fireworks. I know sometimes they snatch them and run. Puppies do that, but that's not safe. So keep your puppies away from the food, from the fireworks, and from loud noises as best as you can.
Loud noises, and always mindful of the heat. Danny, Hot Diggity Dog, one more time. Remind us time, place, and date.
It's going to be July the 12th, which is a Friday, between 12 and 5 o'clock.
All right. At Animal Services.
At Animal Services.
At Animal Services. It is always a lot of fun talking to you. I mean, who couldn't enjoy Hot Diggity Dog and having a hot dog? But also, you give us such great information that's so important for our furry family members. So, as always, we're so grateful you were here.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Dominique Van Pelt. Dominique, we are so glad you are here. You and I have worked together on some special projects, but never gotten really to have a conversation like this, so I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, thank you for having me today.
So we want everybody to know, because your title is this long, and so I'm going to let you tell everybody what it is you do with our Onslow County Health Department.
Yes, I am a public health program planner and coordinator, and my job revolves around emergency preparedness at the Onslow County Health Department.
Which, as we have all witnessed in the last several years, you all have been such an important anchor for us all to tether to and to guide us through emergency situations. And part of what you do there is educate people about preparedness in all kinds of situations.
Yes, ma'am.
So we want to, as we've come in from the heat today, and all wishing we were at the pool, start off our conversation about pool safety, because here in Eastern North Carolina, everybody loves the beach, everybody loves the pool, and we have lots of children that we need to take care of and make sure that they're doing those things safely and wisely.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about why it's important and what we need to remember when taking our kiddos to the pool.
So the leading cause of death for kids ages 1 through 4 is drowning. And even more so, the majority of those deaths occur in swimming pools specifically.
And you know, it's hard to even fathom that idea, right? Because the pool, you know, from kiddie pools to big recreational kind of pools, hotel pools, you know, you're on vacation, these are supposed to be fun times, and they can turn into tragedies.
Absolutely, and I want to tell you guys a few about the prevention strategies that you can keep in mind, whether that's in your own pool at home or whether that's a public pool.
Right, right.
For example, having a device that you can throw into the pool, it's a ring buoy that you can throw in, because you figure something's happening with your child and you see them kind of thrashing in the water. You don't want to really jump in. It's going to be hard to manage, so you want to throw in the ring buoy. Making sure that they have swimming lessons so they're able to kind of fend for themselves while they're in the pool. Making sure that when you're with your children and you take them to the public pool or at your own pool, that you're keeping an eye on them.
Eyes always, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Anything can happen in an instant, so you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on them.
Okay.
And not to mention, if you're at a public pool where they have drains, you want to make sure that there's no loose-fitting clothing. Maybe your bathing suit gets caught in the bottom, or if you have long hair like myself, you want to keep that in mind so it doesn't get caught anywhere it shouldn't be.
You know, and again, that eyes on, real easy to get distracted.
Absolutely.
We've got our device. You know, we're watching our other children. How important it is for parents to have that partner in watching kiddos.
Absolutely. It's super important to watch your children. Of course, we know maybe you'd like to sit down and read a book or have a cold one by the pool at the beach with your kids, but you want to make sure you really are watching them, because it's really important to make sure that they don't, again, like we said, anything can happen in an instant.
In a split second.
It would be fantastic to make sure that they have the buddy system as well.
Yep.
That way, if something does happen, their friend can call for help.
Well, you know, we never swim alone, right?
Absolutely.
Here's the thing about pools. They really are inviting. And for little kids, they can be such a temptation. For people who have pools, what are some guidance that you give them in terms of keeping those areas secure?
Absolutely. So making sure you have a fence around your pool. So making sure you have a fence around your pool keeps a barrier between your child and the pool. Of course, you know, they want to kind of wander off, but also pool toys are a lot of fun, right?
Right, right.
So you want to make sure they're not floating in the pool unattended, because that can attract your children to the pool as well. So you want to make sure they're separate.
So that temptation, and you know, kids' judgment. I swim in the pool all the time. I can't just jump in. So talk about setting those boundaries and reminding children about the dangers of swimming alone.
Right, absolutely. So just reminding them, even, you know, running around the pool is unsafe. You don't want to fall in. And wearing a life jacket. So even teaching your kids, you know what, you may be a good swimmer, but making sure that you have a life jacket as well to be safe on all accounts.
Very good. Again, the pool is a great fun place, but with all of these rules and safety matters in place and safety devices in place. Then let's sort of shift gears.
Okay.
Because the pool is great, and going to the beach is awesome, but it's also, despite how awesome the water is, it is still a hot summer day out there.
Absolutely.
And we want to really understand about the importance of protecting our children in times of intense or excessive heat.
Okay, so a few prevention strategies to refrain from getting heat illnesses. You can wear lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothing. So keeping in mind when's the hottest part of the day, right? So we know when the hottest part of the day is typically around the afternoon. So we want to make sure that we're getting in those activities, maybe going earlier to the beach or going a little bit later before sunset. That way it's a little bit cooler.
Very good.
Making sure you have areas of things to block the sun. So whether that's an umbrella or a hat. And then making sure you want to keep in mind your skin as well. So you want to wear sunscreen.
All right. So all those things that to keep in mind. Stay hydrated.
Absolutely.
And stay hydrated with the right kind of beverages. We're not drinking sodas. We're doing preferably water, but you know, we've got those drinks that improve our electrolytes if we're playing sports. When we're doing those things.
Absolutely.
Sunscreen, shade, and picking the time of day that we're out there.
Yes, ma'am.
You all are so good about sharing this information, Dominique. I know that you've recently done this as a presentation. Do you all do outreaches and go to community groups and share this information as well?
So different outreaches that we attend, we kind of provide an array of information. So it kind of depends on what's happening in different relevant topics, and we will disperse the information accordingly to different community members that attend those outreach events.
That's fantastic. Sort of share the word, and then it gets passed on and gets passed on.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, Dominique, it's wonderful that you've been here today. I hope that we have other chances to visit, but first and foremost, please remind our families how important it is to keep summer fun and safe.
Yes, ma'am. So it's super important. Remember, keep an eye on your kiddos. Any chance that you get, keep in mind that we want to have a good day at the pool and at the beach. Keep in mind that being proactive about your choices, seeing if there's a lifeguard on duty at the pool or the beach, and bringing the materials you might need to avoid getting a heat-related illness and for being safe in those swimming conditions.
Fantastic. Dominique, thanks so much for bringing in this important information. I look forward to our next visit.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me today.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today. And summertime means time in the garden, even if it's hot, right, Emily?
Right.
We are so glad that Emily Morrison is with us from Onslow County Cooperative Extension. Emily, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You know, as we were off camera, we were talking about what a non-master gardener I am, right?
I don't know.
I got luck with some. I just roll the dice, and if it grows, it grows. I am sure that there's a far more methodical, scientific way, and Cooperative Extension and NC State have got that figured out, and that's your Master Gardener program.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Sure, yeah. So, so this is the North Carolina Extension Master Gardener program. So the extension is what ties us to the university and to the research that they're doing on campus regarding, you know, food crops, disease-resistant perennials, you know, how to improve habitat for pollinators and wildlife in your gardens, best practices for using or reducing your use of pesticides, all of these things. You know, and so the Extension Master Gardener program trains community members to volunteer and help disseminate that information.
Because there's only one Emily, right?
True.
And,
yes.
And if I caught you every time my cilantro wilted, which was my problem, you would be there all day long. But you have these wonderful folks who register, take part in the class, and then they become that great resource for us.
Yes.
Talk about how one registers to be part of the Master Gardener training program and what happens afterward.
Yeah, so there is a class. So you take a class that has about 40 hours of instruction. It is a pretty intensive time commitment, but you are going to learn so much about all of the best practices for gardening and specifically for Onslow County.
Okay.
You know, because if somebody becoming a Master Gardener in the mountains takes the class, they're going to need different information.
All right.
So that's one of the really unique things about Extension is we're giving people regionally specific information. Anyway, that was a sidetrack.
No, that's awesome.
The class, there's an application and it's on our website, or you could come in our office and get an application. It's going to basically ask, you know, what is your experience with gardening? Give some references because we want to make sure we're getting folks who are, you know, genuinely want to help the public, and then I read those over and maybe give them a phone call and see if they're going to be a good fit for the program.
Okay.
And then they take the class, and the class this year starts August 20th.
Okay.
And runs every Tuesday and Thursday through October 10th.
And this is an evening class or daytime class?
It's a morning class, so it runs 9 to 12.
All right.
And most of the classes will be over in the government center in one of the training rooms. So
all right.
most of them. We may also do some other field trips and hands-on activities outside of that room. So
now the application process, here we are, it's the first of the month. Mm-hmm. They've got until what time in July to make sure that they get this finished?
So July 19th is a Friday. So by close of business on July 19th, we really need those applications in. You know, we need to process everything. We need to order the books for the class and just make sure everything's set. So the 19th is the deadline for me to have that application.
All right, very good. Now, there is this fee associated with it. How much is the fee to participate?
The fee is $125. That covers the book, which is about half that cost. And then we do pay dues to the NC State Extension Master Gardener program. Because it is a statewide program.
Sure.
And then there's a little left over for programming supplies, so things that we're going to use in the class.
Fantastic. And look, I mean, when you hold up that book, it's a beautiful book. It's that thing that you say, it's sort of priceless, $125, but the resource information that's available is incredible.
Yes.
Now, your volunteers, they go through the class, they receive their certificate for completion, have all this commitment of time, but because they get this incredible information, you want them as a community resource for everybody else, like me, who's not a master gardener. So what do they do after they graduate from the class?
Yeah, sure. So the first year after the class, there is a volunteer commitment of 40 hours.
Okay.
And so they have a whole year to get those 40 hours. After they get those 40 hours, the following years is just 20 hours to stay active in the program. And a lot of our master gardeners stay active for many, many years.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And so we do all kinds of things. We have Growing Minds, which is for third graders, and they come and we have a field trip at our garden where they learn about horticulture and composting and where their food comes from. We have a table at the Onslow County Farmers Market where they'll talk to people. Our most recent program that we've started is called Bucket Brigade.
Okay.
And that is actually a partnership with the Salvation Army and a grant. And the goal is to teach people in lower income communities how to have a little garden on the patio.
Okay.
Just to be able to grow food in whatever situation you're in, so that they have access to fresh food. And also gardening is known to be very therapeutic too.
Yes.
So that's one of the programs we do. We do a lot of outreach and education to the community.
Well, I know many of your master gardeners, and you're right, these are people who have a love for what they do. And beyond gardening, they have a real passion for sharing that information. They don't keep it to themselves.
Right.
They're going to always be great go-tos for the community. Let's remind folks who may not be familiar with the area where the Onslow County Government Center is, there where you all are located, because you're there, but you also have your beautiful discovery garden that you all have created, which is, again, such a peaceful, wonderful place to visit.
Yes.
So let's direct them to both locations.
Yeah, so our main office, where our extension office is located, is at 234 Northwest Corridor, which is the big government building where there's a lot of other offices. And we're on the first floor. There's a big tractor on the window.
It's really beautiful.
It's easy to find.
Yeah.
So that's where you could go, 5 days a week. You can ask your gardening questions, get a soil sample kit. You could talk to Melissa or Lisa if you're a farmer. 4-H is our youth programming. And then food safety and food preservation is another big thing that we do. So if you wanted to learn how to can food, for example. So that's our main office. And then our Discovery Gardens is behind the farmers market. And we also have a little, we call it the modular, but it's our plant clinic.
Yeah.
So that's staffed 2 days a week by master gardeners, where people can call with their plant questions. And that's where we get all of the who knows what question we're going to get from people from the community.
Well, very good. And we are, we all fancy ourselves as like, I can do this, I can grow tomatoes, but you need some help. It's not as simple as sticking a plant in a pot, right? And,
yeah.
And whether it is insects or drought or, soil conditions that we might not be familiar with, you all are who we're going to go to first.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people call us and say, well, I Googled this on the internet and I couldn't get a good answer. And, we have a network with experts at NC State and other universities who can help us make sure we're getting you the right information.
Fantastic. So to get to you and get that good information, how are the best ways to reach out?
So you can give us a call. Our phone number is 910-455-5873.
Very good.
So calling's a great way, and then also email is a great way, so that folks can find my email on the website, or they can email our plant clinic, which is onslowplantclinic@gmail.com.
Well, that's pretty
easy to know. Yeah.
Very good. Well, Emily Morrison, it is always great chatting with you. I always learn something new, and always, walk away more confident than ever that, this will be the year.
Right.
This will be the year.
We just need some rain, and then we can do it.
Well, are you in charge of that?
I'm not.
Okay.
Unfortunately not.
Well, Emily, thank you as always, and we look forward to lots more information about the Master Gardener program.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today. Joining us now is one of our favorite friends, Jennifer Randall. Jennifer, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, as always. I'm excited to be here.
We were just visiting last month about summer reading kickoff, and it has kicked off.
Oh, yes. Our kickoff kicked off for sure. We had a kickoff event at each one of our branches, and it was a success at each branch, and we were excited to be able to showcase what each community has to offer. So each branch had a different theme that went on, and we had all of our, patrons come in and really be able to kick off summer with us in a fun way.
It is fantastic. Yeah. We've been seeing all the, readers of all ages coming and going all summer long.
Oh, yes. And we have so many patrons that have already signed up for our summer reading program and have already earned a lot of their badges and prizes. And so we are still doing our weekly prize drawing for all age groups as well. So each week we draw a new winner, and they get a fun prize as an incentive to keep reading. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that we can do is read the works of some of the authors that are coming to see you all, because you have these big author events. Last year, I think you probably had one of your biggest that you've ever seen.
Yes. Yep.
And that author's coming back.
She is, and we're so excited to have her back. We definitely learned from last year and how big it was going to be. We weren't expecting such a great turnout from our patrons, but this year we're really expecting the same kind of turnout, and we're preparing for it. And so we have Christy Whitson-Harvey coming back to our library at Main Branch, and she will be here on today, actually, July 1st at 11 a.m., and she's going to be showcasing her brand new book, A Happier Life.
What an awesome title.
Yes.
And if for anybody who does not follow her or who has not read her works, this is an Eastern North Carolina woman. This is a woman who's so connected to who we are as a place.
Yes, absolutely. And she's locally grown, so we got to really support our local authors and really showcase them. We want to just put them out there into our community and say they're here. They're writing, and all of her books actually showcase a different part of Eastern North Carolina where we live. So I think that's such a spectacular way to really showcase where we live and how we love where we live. So
and celebrate it, right?
Yes.
And she celebrates it.
She does.
And the title, how awesome is that title?
And I feel like people come here to live a happier life all the time, right? We're by the beach, we have the great weather, and so, yeah.
So July 1 today, she's here.
She's here.
This is awesome.
She's showing up big. So we're definitely expecting a big crowd, so bear with us on that one. But she will be signing books. There will be books for purchase with our friends of the library, our Jacksonville Friends of the Library. We're so gracious in donating funds to us and to our patrons to be able to have that. So
fantastic.
She will be doing some book signings afterwards, and she'll be hanging out. And she's spectacular.
And, just beautiful. And again, following her on social media as well, you kind of get an insight to her inspiration.
Yes, and if you follow her on any social media, you'll see she's always out in the water and Beaufort, sorry. She's always out in the water with her family, and she's really, showcasing why she writes the books that she writes and how her love of Eastern North Carolina really comes out in her writing.
That is phenomenal. Yeah. You also have Richard LeBlanc coming to visit as well. When will he be with us?
So he will be with us on July 25th, and that will be at 5:30 at our Richlands branch.
Very good.
So we're extending our reach in our Onslow County. And now Richard LeBlanc is a very local author, and he is going to showcase his book that goes through all of his essays of his travels across Canada and Western United States. So.
And the title there again, so clever, so cool.
Oh yes, and so the title for this one is Homesick for Nowhere, and so it really kind of goes through how he traveled for so long and how his travel has really shaped who he is, and now he kind of gets to stay here and sit down and relax for a little bit, and so hopefully we see more of his writing and his adventures, because he's absolutely fabulous. And he's, again, he's very local to Richlands, and so you've probably seen him around the community, and that's pretty cool too.
It is, to know there's so much creative spirit here, and that people are finding their inspiration and are able to tell these stories. And we know that they're our neighbors.
Yeah.
They're our neighbors.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Shipwrecked.
And now this one is near and dear to my heart, because this is a children's author. So this is actually going to be the first time that we have a children's author that's going to be coming and doing an author talk with us. So this is very exciting. Now, Angela May, who also co-writes with Mary Alice Monroe, who writes the Magic Treehouse books.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, I don't know about you guys, but that's one of my favorite books growing up. And it's still a very popular series, and there's more to the series as well. We have our fact trackers, so you can get more of the nonfiction aspect of the books. And then she has different series within the Magic Treehouse. But Angela May is actually one who has a different series called The Islanders, and there's 3 books to this series, and this is her 3rd book that's actually going to be coming out. And she will be joining us on August 1st at 2 p.m. at the main branch of the library.
And what again, that sounds like a perfect read. Yes. The Islanders, right?
Oh, yes.
And Shipwrecked, and oh gosh.
And she is a North Carolina author as well, so we really wanted to make sure that we showcased where we are. Again, so North Carolina authors are coming all over the place, from all over North Carolina, to help us really engage our patrons and, make sure that they still have that love for reading, because I think it's a little bit more exciting when you can see the face behind who writes the books. So.
And while we immerse ourselves in their stories, it's also really fun to understand how they got there.
Yes.
What was the origin story? Where does it begin? What's that seed of creativity?
What really planted their want and need and desire to write books? And we have such a diverse community here, and people from all over the world. And we want them to be able to write about what they have done, and we want to read what they have done, because we are from a very small place, if you think about it, and there's so much more of the world that we haven't seen, and we might not ever be able to see, but if we can read about their stories and their journeys, and we can hear about what they have done, it kind of
takes us there.
Yeah, it takes us there.
Transports us.
I always say the library is such a magical place, because you don't even have to go anywhere. You just open a book and you're transported into a different world, a different place, for sure.
Well, fantastic. And you all are finding all kinds of adventures.
Yes.
I always like to ask, when we've got our library team here, library staff, what are you reading right now? What's your...
What am I reading right now? I'm actually reading The Family Upstairs. I am a thriller fan.
Okay.
I know. You probably wouldn't have thought that about me, but I love thrillers. So anything that grasps my attention for a while. So this is a second book of a series that I've been reading. So I'm reading that right now, but I'm also dabbling in a few other books, because that's just how we
You're right.
work
Keep
life.
us stacked by your desk.
Yes, we keep us stacked by our desks and by my bed and anywhere that I can get my hands on a book.
Fantastic. Well, Jennifer Randall, it is always great. You all have such great social media presence, your website. How's the best way to reach you all and find out what's coming up next?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go onto our website. It's onslowcountync.gov/library. And that'll give you access to all of our events, all of our upcoming everything's going on. And it'll also give you access to all of our digital libraries, so you can get books on the go, audiobooks and physical books. And then you can also make sure that your kids are still learning during the summer. We have a really great digital resource compilation on our website as well, where you can get that access. But then you can also call us at any point in time. Our phone number there is 910-455-7350.
Fantastic. No summer slump for us.
No summer slump.
Reading
We
through
don't
the
do
summer.
that.
Fantastic. Jennifer Randall, thank you as always.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you as always for joining us for Onslow County Today. A really special thank you to our friends here at Onslow County Senior Services for opening their doors here so that we can tell you some awesome summer stories. Thank you to Denise Leyva for sharing with us about the fan distribution program. Anita Atkins with Onslow County Department of Social Services. We also chatted with Danny Cook from Onslow County Animal Services, Dominique Van Pelt from the Onslow County Health Department, Jennifer Randall from the Onslow County Public Library, and Emily Morrison from Cooperative Extension. You know, just thinking about all of those guests just gives you a peek into the wonderful services that make Onslow County a community of choice for the folks who live here, and we're glad that you joined us to learn more about them. As always, we're glad that you were here for Onslow County Today. Now get out and explore.